Good evening, everyone, again. They've given me a mic, a traveling mic, so look out. So, again, welcome to the 2022 Naga Hall of Fame dinner. We have a few things that we want to go through, but first, personal privilege. He doesn't know that I'm going to do this, but I have been with my husband for almost 30 years, and November 1st, we are celebrating 30 years. And he's at the back table back there. His name is Tim, and I think you can all congratulate him on putting up with me. So, oh, what was that?
Nothing. Move on.
Move on. So, we're in Dallas again. In 2013, we were at the Belo House. I don't know how many of you remember that, but we were at the Belo House. This is a very unique venue. I thought it was very cool. I hope you enjoyed it, and we've got a lot of things planned ahead. So, without that, I'm going to give you Sam Lehman, who is the Director of Partnerships, which is the money. And here he is.
Thank you, Roy, my fellow Pittsburgh friend. I'm Sam Lehman. I'm from two areas. I played in New York City in a very small league in southern New England. Are they here? They're so loud. It is really an honor to be in front of all of you. It's so inspiring. You know you're at a Hall of Fame dinner when you're behind two people at the bar and they say to the bartender, "Can I have a grasshopper and 2 Rob Roys?" And the bartender's like, Thank you for laughing so loud down in front, these two gals over here. Anyway, I'm very happy to be here. I certainly love what I do. What I do is across the country, I tell your story, and your story is incredible. You know, you were not selected in gym class. You were not selected in gym class. You weren't allowed to play in the schoolyard in the games. And then all of a sudden we found each other and you were included in this. And this is a group of people who were probably not, who were picked last in gym class and wanted to play sports so badly. And a couple of people decided to get together and form this association, and it's changed so many lives. This story is incredible. When I tell this story, the Nikes and the Googles and the Molson Coors across the country, I rarely mention sports. I mention how you guys have opened the doors for the ones behind you. Someone in front of you opened the door for you. And you have opened the door for people that are probably 2 years behind you. So I commend you. It's wonderful. I'm just so happy to be here. And you are all amazing. None of this could be possible at this time without the involvement of corporate America. And I go out there and I speak to them on a daily basis, and I'm so pleased. You know, we have organizations like Nike and Cintas. Last night we had a professional wrestler who just came out as transgender and had one of the most moving nights of her life last night. And WWE is also a partner with us. And I said to WWE, that's weird. Like, you know, you're involved with an LGBT sports organization? And she said, have you ever seen one of our matches? Hello? I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right about that. We have a couple, you know, we have great partners. There's a young guy in the back, Armando, from a company called Mister, who is time after time after time becoming involved in LGBT sports and promoting us and also promoting his company, and it just means so much to us, I can't tell you. One of the biggest accomplishments we've had over the past few years is the involvement in Major League Baseball. They have been an amazing partner with us. Billy Bean and his organization They came with us last year into Naga, and this year they came to all during the series last year, and they had such a wonderful time, and it meant so much to them. There's something about, you can have a sports league on a Tuesday night, and it's all about competitive softball. You come here and you see a 30-year-old gentleman get his first double, and you see him call his parents about it. I mean, what you created, you just almost can't put into words. And when someone from Major League Baseball comes here and goes to the fields and sees that, and sees the spirit, it's unlike any other league across the country. It became addicting to them, and so this year they doubled their partnership with us, Major League Baseball, and it's pretty amazing. Not only that, not 1, not 5, not 10, but 30 Major League teams across the country involved themselves with Pride Nights in our local leagues. It's crazy. So we're certainly pleased about that. There's one partner that is head and shoulders in front of everyone else. Molson Coors has been with us for so long. For 20 years, they have been involved in LGBT sports in this organization. It's pretty incredible. They build relationships through LGBT all throughout the US and Canada. They're celebrating their 20th year. The guy who I'm about to bring on stage, he really, truly cares. He works within their organization to consistently put more money into Naga year after year after year. This gentleman is the manager of community affairs. He's my friend. He's a hero in LGBT sports, and he's celebrating his 20th year, and we're going to have a little plaque for him. So I'm going to invite a gentleman you may know, Michael Nordman. And Michael Nordman, if you can get me off the stage, he's going to say a few words.
Oh my gosh, wow. I was expecting this. Thank you so much, Sam. I appreciate it. Like Sam said, I'm Michael Nordman. I'm the Senior Manager of Community Affairs at Molson Coors Beverage Company. Been proudly working with the company for 6 years, and through that I've really gotten to know the Gay Softball League, the World Series, Naga Cup, and so many other great things that we've been able to be involved in. And I'm really proud to be at a company that has been supporting this organization for 2 decades. And just really been committed to the community over the years and stepping up in big ways, both as a company and with our brands. We have some great brands that hopefully you've gotten to enjoy out at the fields, like Miller Lite, which is doing great work in the LGBTQ community, as well as working with bars across the country to make them more inclusive spaces for all members of our community, creating a guide that we will then take with our sales reps who go into these different accounts and kind of offer trainings and best practices to help improve the environment that we go into when we go into those bars. They're safe spaces as well. And then Vizzy Hard Seltzer, which has made a $1 million 3-year commitment with the Human Rights Campaign to advance full LGBTQ plus equality across the country. So, it makes me proud to be a part of an organization where I know that the commitment is real and that there's a true belief in equality. And one of our kind of key phrases is we unite together people for all of life's moments. And that's really what Naga has always been about. If you go out to the field, you see the community, you see the sense of family that people have created here, and it's really a beautiful thing. And so we're very happy to be proud to be a part of it, and look forward to continuing the partnership in the future. And thanks for the support.
Hello everybody, good evening. My name is John J. Diffie and I'm your Naga Commissioner, current Naga Commissioner. First of all, congratulations to all the inductees. Congratulations on all your efforts and contributions and sacrifices and commitment to LGBT sports. Congratulations, Nog, on 45 years, and congratulations to everyone on contributing to those efforts. What I wanted to do first is recognize an individual before I bring him on. We have a very special treat tonight, a very dear friend of mine, somebody that many of us may know by watching on television. If you're a big MLB fan, you've probably seen him call games. This individual's from Eugene, Oregon, currently lives in Portland and Palm Springs. People are messaging me at the same time. Served as an umpire 32 years in Major League Baseball, 37 total, 5 of those in the minor leagues. Was a crew chief for 16 years, 3 World Series, 3 All-Star games, over 90 postseason games, 91 career ejections. Before I bring him on, we're going to also provide the Trailblazer Award in recognition of your significant contributions to our LGBTQA+ community as an advocate for living one's true self. Please give a warm welcome to former Major League umpire, my dear friend, Dale Scott.
Well, it's, first of all, it makes me so nervous. When my name is announced, I never hear applause, so that's really weird. And to maybe put me at ease, on 3, can you boo me? Or 1, 2, 3, just go ahead. Much better. I feel at home now. Thank you for that rousing boo. And I want to thank John for introducing me, but also inviting me here tonight. I also want to shout out to the NAGA executive board, to the delegates. I mean, to put something on like this doesn't, it's not like genie, it just happens. So these guys and gals have been working for months and putting it on. So a big round of applause for these guys. They had challenges and stuff the last few years, like all of us, but they not only were able to meet those challenges, they've exceeded them. As far as I know, at 45 years, first of all, which is awesome, 52 associations and more to come. There's 19,000 plus members. That's really a testament to what this organization does. So I think that's fantastic, and I'm thrilled to be here. I've known John around 25 years, so obviously we met when I was 10. I'm an umpire. We only go 3-2. That's all we know. I'm really bad at math. But I met John in Phoenix when I was working about the mid-90s when I started working spring training. Well, not started, when I was working spring training there. And I met the trio that owned Roscoe's then. You guys are aware of Roscoe's. I've been there many times, don't remember any of it. But with John and those guys, they were either sponsoring or playing or fundraising, and so I was getting into this in spring training. So I asked the American League that if I'd have Sundays off during spring training, and they thought, wow, Dale's wanting the Sabbath off. He's probably going to church and doesn't want to work a game on a Sunday. That's really but in a way, the fields that I went to was my church. And my communion was doing shots on Sunday afternoon at Roscoe, so that's kind of a religious thing. But when I was 19 years old, I finally figured out who I was and what I was. Now, growing up, I was always more attracted to guys, and it was just natural for me. I didn't think it was dirty. I didn't think it was weird. It just was very natural to me. But I also understood that I couldn't, just shout it out at that time. But when I was 19, and I'm a little slow, but I finally said, "Oh, dude, you're gay." Okay, now I get it. Now it makes sense. I mean, I was bi for 20 minutes. I didn't clock it, but around 20. It was less than a Seinfeld, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, but I did have a girlfriend. Leslie, and I thought, well, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell her that I didn't even tell her that I was gay. I was going to tell her I was bi, and she would, drive me like a rock, and then I could move on. So I told her, and she took a sigh and a deep breath. She goes, "Man, the thought of you with another guy is hot." And I went, "No, that's not the answer." Didn't see that coming. But in 1981, when I was 21, I went to umpire school, and I did rather well there, and was able to get a job in the minor leagues. And of course, I went to umpire school as a gay man. They didn't know that, and I was trying my best for many years to make sure baseball did not know that. My goal was to, get to AA, then AAA, and maybe the big leagues. And I thought if they found out I was gay, that wasn't going to happen. But then, literally 2 weeks before my very first professional baseball game in the Northwest League in June of 1981, was when the first reports of these cancers affecting young, healthy men in San Francisco and New York, and as we know now, that was the start of the AIDS epidemic and the crisis that just devastated our community. So that's right when my minor league and my career started, and so I was not only not wanting them to know that I was gay because I was trying to get up to the big leagues, but now I was afraid because of the fear that was going on, and many of you remember those that don't. It was people didn't know how it was spread. They were afraid of towels and doorknobs and whatever. So I was concerned that not only my promotion would be thrown out the window if they found out I was gay, there would be umpires that would not even work with me. In the lower minor leagues, you're sharing a hotel room, you're on the field together, you're in the locker room together, you're in the cars driving your next assignments, you're together a lot. So that was another big reason that I actively tried to hide who I really was. But in the minor leagues, I did have some fun. That first year in the Northwest League, I lived with my parents in Eugene, Oregon, and Salem, Oregon was about 50 minutes away, and I had the 4th of July game there. I was behind the plate, so I got seats right behind the plate, and the place was sold out. And when I say sold out, there's maybe 6,000 people. It wasn't a huge stadium, but hey, it was a big deal. They were playing a team from Bend, Oregon, and so first inning, there's a lefty starter for Salem, and he tried to pick off at first, and I called a balk because he balked, and so I got an argument for the manager, and of course the fans are all yelling, and this guy sitting right next to my dad and mom, he's up there going, "You suck, you're terrible, you're horrible, you don't know what a balk is," and my parents are like, just sitting there very calm. So a few innings later, now there's runners at first and third, same pitcher, now it's another bad step, I balk him, we score a run, I eject the asylum manager, and the place is going up for grabs. And this guy's yelling again, standing there, "Oh, you terrible, did your mother have any kids that lived?" Very helpful. And of course my parents were just sitting there. So it's between innings, kind of a lull, and this guy goes, I couldn't help seeing that you're not rooting for Salem. Are you Ben fans? And my dad goes, "No, not really." And he said, "Well, are you just baseball fans?" He goes, "Well, kind of. Yeah, our son is out there on the field." And the guy goes, "Oh, really? Is he ball boy or bat boy?" And dad goes, "No, he's that blind son of a bitch you've been yelling at for the last time." So the guy said, "Hey, I'm gonna agree to beer." But had a successful minor league career. On April 1st, 1986, I was hired by the American League. Yes, it was April Fool's Day. Yes, there are still managers and players that think it's a joke. But I, again, was trying to hide who I was and making sure that they didn't know who I was. I'm breaking into the league. I'm a rookie and all that stuff. So I got a lot on my plate. And the last thing I needed to have them is baseball to know that. But when you're a rookie in umpire in baseball, you have zero credibility. The players, the managers are going to test you. They're going to see how far they can go with you. They're going to see what you're made of. And sometimes it was fair, sometimes it wasn't. But it's just the rite of passage. I had the plate in Yankee Stadium one night. Rick Cerrone was the catcher for the Yankees. Rickson, he was a nice guy. He had the, personality of a pencil, but a sharp pencil, wasn't a dull pencil. So we had that going for him. But like in the first inning, about the third pitch of the game, there was a pitch that I had just below the knee, a ball, and I balled it. And Rick, ooh, and he throws it back on the tail. That's a good pitch. I said, pitch is down, Rick. No, that's a good pitch. I said, okay. So a few innings later, there's another one right at the same spot. Boom, ball. Oh man, he throws it back. Damn, we got to have that pitch. Come on now, he's got to have that pitch. I said, the ball's low, Rick. It's not low. And I was thinking, how can I convince him that that pitch is low? So in the fifth inning, he was coming up to bat, and so I thought, well, maybe I have an opportunity here to maybe, convince him. So the first pitch comes in, he fouls it off, and the second pitch is outside. We got 1-1, and as luck would have it, that third pitch was right in that same location, right? And like I've been all night balling that, and of course this time it went strike 2. And he stepped back and he goes, "Damn, that ball's low." And I said, "That's what I've been trying to tell you for the last time." I had a fantastic major league career, over 90 postseasons, 3 All-Star games, 3 World Series, and I came full circle also from hiding who I was at the beginning to the umpires I worked with around the late 90s, early 2000s. They figured out the jig was up. Apparently, when you have a roommate for 15 years, and in the off season you go on trips to, Australia, that's not normal with a roommate. So apparently they figured it out. But it was all good. I had guys just come up and tell me, I know you have a different lifestyle. I don't care. I just want you to know. And it felt good to have some of those shields come down. And then Major League Baseball, the people I worked for, they knew before Mike, my husband, and I could get married, we were registered domestic partners, and by doing that, he got some of the benefits that I had, as a spouse, like he was a spouse. So they knew. So when I came out, I decided to come out in December. It was December of 2014, and so this was not a shock to the guys I worked with. It's not a shock to the guys I worked for, but it was news to the media, to the teams, to fans, and everything, and. It was kind of a big deal, but I went full circle. I went from, hiding to this. Now, this was in December, so there were no games until a few months later. My very first spring training game in 2015. I'm in the Phoenix area. It's Cleveland and Cincinnati. And I had something happen that I never anticipated, I never thought of. It was a flow of emotion that caught me kind of by surprise. Looking back on it now, I shouldn't have, but it did. Where we were playing, they share a stadium in Goodyear, I believe. Our room is in dead center field, so for us to walk all the way to the plate to do the lineups and stuff, it's the full thing. So as we got ready, we started to walk onto the field. All of a sudden, this emotion went through me. It was the first time that I had ever walked on the field as an openly gay man, and it was liberating. And it was, I felt free. I had this emotion that I, again, wasn't anticipating. But I thought, if somebody in the stands said, "I wonder who the umpires are," and they Googled my number 5, they said, "Oh, he's gay." But those shields were gone, and they had been up for years, and it was such a wonderful, feeling. That game, Marlon Byrd was an outfielder for many teams, so he was with the Reds then. I'd had him a long time, and he was in left field. I was at third base, and at third out, he's running to the third base dugout. He sees me, and he goes, "Dale!" And he comes up, and he gives me a huge bear hug. Now, that's not normal, okay? Usually after the off-season, the spring training guy, "Hey, how was your off-season? How'd everything go?" And they're really nice, and then they start yelling at you. So, Marlon comes up and he gives me this big bear hug, and when he does, he says, "Dale, I am so proud of you. You are free, brother. You are free." And I said, "Wow, thanks, Marlon." I just did not expect that. It really felt good, because I didn't know what kind of a greeting I would get from fans or whatever, but that really was special. One other thing happened that spring, and then I gotta go. I was working in Phoenix. It's, you know, the spring training stadiums are more intimate, they're smaller, and it's not unusual, especially when I'm a first or third, if somebody that I went to school with or somebody from my hometown or whatever happened to be at a game, they see I'm working the game, so they'll come down to the railing and get my attention. And between innings, I might go over and shake their hand and say hello or whatever. I was working with a guy named Scott Berry, and Scott was at second base. He's from Michigan, and I'm at first. There's a third out, and I hear this guy's at the radio, Scott, and I'm looking, and he's looking right at me, Scott, you know, and I'm going, I don't recognize this guy, but okay, but you know, I mean, I'm going to shut him up. I'm going to go over there. I mean, just simmer down now. So I walked over. I go, hey, what's up? And he goes, hey, I had a message. I'm supposed to say hi to you from Lynn from Lansing. I said, Lynn from Lansing? He goes, yeah, remember you dated Lynn from Lansing? I go, no, I dated a Steve from Springfield. And the look on this guy's face, what? He goes, are you Scott Berry? And I go, no, I'm Dale Scott. He goes, oh, you're Dale Scott. Oh. Listen, I am thrilled to be here. I thank you, you guys, for inviting me. Congratulations to the inductees tonight. Congratulations to those who are already in. And thank you for having me. Good night. Have a great night.
Thank you, Dale. See, there's some more good things in Portland, besides me. Watch it.
Yes, 45 seconds.
I heard that. So, before we get into everything, we're just about to do everything, but I wanted to remember someone that's been really special to us, and that was Mr. Ken Sears. We started a scholarship fund, and we didn't get to $25,000 yet. But in the NAGA meetings, we had someone pledge and give a check for $5,620 to get us to $25,000. And he's actually here tonight, too. It's Mr. Tony Wergerson from Houston, Texas. Needless to say, I was giving my report and I was talking about the scholarship fund. And he comes up to right in front and he's standing there and I'm like, what does he want? I'm not finished. And of course he said that, and everyone cried. So we will now proceed with the Hall of Fame, or the Ken Sears Scholarship Fund, and we will be giving our first scholarship next year at this event. Well, we are ready for we're going to do the in memoriam first, which we have here, and then we'll be into the inductions.
Until it's your time.
may be gone, but they're never forgotten. Well, on to better things. We're going to start the inductions.
Hello, I'm Ken Tedford with Caddyshawn Group Softball League here in Toronto. I'm very honored to introduce you your next Hall of Fame inductee, John Hunking. John joined CGSL back in 1997 as a new softball player who quickly took to the game and developed a love of the game within the LGBTQ community. John became a dedicated member of the CGSL, becoming a team manager for several years, then served as assistant and commissioner for 10 years, umpire and UIC respectively. In recognition of John's extensive list of contributions to the CGSL, the league awarded John its highest honor, Commissioner's Cup in 2013. While attending Naga's Gay World Series over a few years, John came to realize that his love of the game and his desire to serve for the betterment of the game could be shared internationally. He ensured that Naga recognized Toronto as a delegate and was a member of the membership committee and the player ratings committee for several years. With his tremendous work ethic and unwavering commitment to gay softball, John served as the board's member-at-large from 2016 to 2018, and during those years served as assistant field athletic director for GSWS Austin, Portland, and Tampa. John has been deeply committed and shown tremendous support to Naga with not only his years on the board, but also with amazing work ethic of serving as the assistant athletic director. He continues to support Naga through dialogue and sharing his experiences with members of our league. With John's constant drive to share his love of the game and his commitment and contributions to CGSL and Naga, he is very deserving of the honor of being inducted into the Naga Hall of Fame. Congratulations, John.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, this is John Hunking from Toronto. I wanted to thank the Naga Hall of Fame committee and the Naga Hall of Fame members who voted for me to be part of the 2022 Naga Hall of Fame. I also want to congratulate all my fellow inductees this year, including my fellow Canadian, Art Gullett, and those that I know near and dear to me, Shane Yoakum, Jeff Stewart, and Jeff Sloan. Congratulations to all you ladies and gentlemen for being inducted into the Naga Hall of Fame. I've been playing softball now for the past 25 years in the CGSL. This is my 25th year. And during that time, I've sat on the CGSL board for 13 years and then 2 years on the Naga board. So over half my time playing softball, I've been working behind the scenes to help make things happen for players. I'm honored to be in the company of all of you sitting in this room this evening, past and present inductees into the Naga Hall of Fame. I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, I'm truly heartbroken that I cannot be there this evening, and this is an honor that I've wanted for so long, and I'm heartbroken. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I want to wish you all a great evening. Have fun, and good luck to everyone at the World Series this year. Thank you.
My name is Scott Fullerton, retired West End Slow Pitch Association Commissioner and Naga delegate from Vancouver. It is my honor to introduce Vancouver's very first inductee into the Naga Hall of Fame. Art Gillett has been the backbone of gay softball in Vancouver for over 35 years. He's been a coach, our special events commissioner, vice commissioner, and commissioner. Art has also coached teams in many tournaments throughout North America, including at GSWS and Buttons Division in Portland. Art was also instrumental in creating the Westside Pageant, our annual softball drag contest that has raised over $130,000 for local LGBTQ+ charities over the last 35 years. From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to congratulate Art Gillett. From all of us at the West End Slow Pitch Association, I cannot think of a better inductee to represent Vancouver.
Pretty special night. I wish to congratulate the other members being inducted tonight and thank all the previous Hall of Fame members for their contribution to softball and the community, and of course all those people that continue to make it happen. A lot of what I was going to say was already written in the book and Scott said it, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time because Roy said I didn't have a lot of time. And whatever Roy said, you know. Most of my vacation time over the last 40 years has been traveling to Naga City tournaments, member tournaments, and including our Northwest sister cities of Seattle and Portland when I first met Roy a few years ago. Many of the Hall of Fame members, Roy and a few others from the Northwest, were instrumental in our league becoming a member of Naga in 2008. At that time, we were accepted, and we did our first tournament, Naga World Series in Seattle in 2008, and it was the beginning of something very special for Vancouver. I was very fortunate to participate in many World Series events, and in 2017 in Portland, my team won bronze medal in the Masters. First for Vancouver, but hopefully not our last. I'm so happy to have joined softball all those years ago. I met thousands of wonderful people. I'm now enjoying my retirement in Austin with my partner Craig, and I'm very honored. Thank you.
I just want to make sure you realize this is the first Hall of Fame member from the city of Vancouver.
Hi, I'm Pete Gately. It's my honor to introduce Chicago's newest Naga Hall of Fame inductee, Doug Baum. For almost 30 years, Doug has been involved with almost every aspect of Chicago's softball league. He's an outstanding pitcher, player coach, team manager, commissioner, umpire, and for the past 5 years, our umpire-in-chief. He's one of the founding members of the Senior Cup and was our Naga rep for 5 years. Doug has been a part of the World Series for over 25 years, first as a player and player manager, and for the past 13 years as an umpire. Doug has been a wonderful mentor to players, umpires, and other leaders of our organization. In 2007, Doug was the recipient of Chicago Softball's James R. Brody Award for outstanding sportsmanship. He is a member of Chicago MSA's Hall of Fame. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming to the stage my good friend, the Naga Hall of Fame inductee, Doug Mom.
Good evening. Wonderful to be here tonight. I've been coming to these dinners for a long time, back when the speeches were 45 minutes. And Roy has been gracious. Roy has been gracious enough to. We have been warned that if we go too long, he's going to play off some music, and I hope it's a Tony Award-winning number, please. Okay. Excuse me. I'd like to start. There are so many people I'd like to thank. First, I'd like to thank everyone that is here tonight to honor me and all of our inductees tonight, present and past. Man, whew. I'd really like to thank all my teammates from over the years, especially my longtime friends sitting here. Peter Bonavia, David Leike, Peter Gately, Jeff Weber, Jeff Milio, Jim, your last name Jim, and Sean Albritton. Some of you may have heard, you know Sean Albritton, I'm sure you know him. Sean was not able to be here tonight because he had an injury. This is the best World Series he's ever called as an umpire. I'd also like to thank my fellow umpires who have worked with me over the years to be the best umpire I can be. We had some great times on the field and a lot of shenanigans off the field. A lot of memories I will always remember. I'd also like to thank my fellow UICs and tournament directors that put their trust in me to work the series and their tournament. Tony Timmons, my first UIC at the World Series in Columbus in 2010. Julie Caldwell, Frank Kisner, Mike Wesley, and Dave Dennison. And a quick note on Dave Dennison, he's doing great. He'll be back to his full sassy self before you know it. So, there are two special people I would like to thank that molded me and are responsible for me being up here tonight. First is Peter Meyer. I'm sure many of you know Peter Meyer. Peter Meyer was my first softball coach who taught me my softball skills, as they are, and also taught me what was more important than was on the field and what we had as friendship off the field. Second, I'd like to thank Bobby Nicholson. I first met Bobby playing against him on the field and then later as a teammate. Bobby was the UIC in Chicago when I first began my umpire career. Bobby taught me to be the best umpire I could be, and that is something I strive to be in his honor. Both Peter and Bobby were great competitors on the field and truly good people off the field to everyone they met. They are both Hall of Fame inductees, which is a testament to that fact. Sorry about that. Sorry. I've had a lot of great memories over the years that I will always cherish, and the life we have is ours to miss. We must live every day. I'm sorry. There's someone else I'd like to thank, and that's my partner, Nick. Some of you may know Nick and I like to attend a musical now and then. This award is my Tony Award. Nick is my best supporting actor. Without his support and love, the long weekends, doing tournaments, doing the series would not be possible. Unfortunately, Nick's mother passed away on Sunday, so he couldn't be here this evening. I'd also like to thank my parents. They are here in spirit. I was one of the lucky ones when I came out. They were accepting of me. I was not their gay son, I was just their son. In the words of Saint Basil, I bet he never thought I'd be quoting a saint today. A tree is known by its fruit, a man by his deeds. As I said, I was one of the lucky ones in my family. Not all of our brothers and sisters are. That is why the softball community that allows us to come together for friendship is so important. There is the family we are born with and the family we meet along the way. You are all my family. We must continue to create our safe spaces at softball and all sports until they are no longer safe spaces, but just spaces. As I said, my parents were my tree, and I am their fruit. As we go on with our lives tonight, I would like to leave you with the words of wisdom from Yogi Berra. Ken from Toronto, that's the baseball player, not the picnic basket one. So as we leave tonight, please take these words with wisdom with you. When you come to a fork in the road, take it.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all of you who are being inducted this evening into the 2022 class of the Naga Hall of Fame. My name is Rich Siegel from Softball Austin, and I have the great pleasure of introducing to you Ted Burton. Ted played, coached, managed, created 2 teams, and was the league's first commissioner. But more than anything else, he is the founder of Softball Austin, creating a safe space for our community to play in a league of our own. Under Ted's leadership, we had growth every year from less than 10 teams in 2004 to more than 25 teams when Ted stepped down in 2008. I owe Ted a debt of gratitude for allowing me to be a part of this team, the Bat Boys, starting in 2005, and then to serve on his board starting in 2006 as the secretary. Ted, on behalf of all of us who have competed in Softball Austin and those still to come, we congratulate you on this very worthy honor. And now, my friends, would you please welcome to the stage my friend, Ted Burton.
Everybody's worst nightmare, right? I will never live that down. I tripped on the way to the fucking stage. I say anything, I can just call it a night. So my name is Ted Burton, the guy that tripped at the Hall of Fame ceremony. Before there was Grindr or Scruff, which many of you are currently busy doing something on right now, there was a thing called newspapers and personal ads. In 1998, I placed an ad in the Austin Chronicle, our local alternative paper, to recruit gay, competitive softball players who don't trip on the way off stage. Callers would leave a message in my voicemail box, and my friend Melanie and I would screen them and decide, based on their voice, if they could play softball. It was a highly scientific recruiting strategy. So we found 8 guys, and I recruited the husbands of 2 of my girlfriends, and the Austin Bat Boys competed in our first game, May 24th, 1998, and lost 7-2. But we took the field as Austin's first out proud gay softball team. And we began competing against straight teams. And began beating straight teams. And word started to spread. But it was October 2003 when 2 of Austin's high-profile radio disc jockeys went on the air to discuss a controversy out of Atlanta, where an Atlanta team was kicked out of the league for having too many straight guys. And so the radio host thought that was hilarious and ironic because, of course, gay guys can't play softball, right?
right? It's a laugh line. Gay guys can play softball. So I called the show and on the air told them not only can gay guys play softball, but we have a pretty good team called the Austin Bat Boys, and we challenged them to a game. Little did they expect that 1,000 people would show up to Craig's softball fields in Austin, had to call the police to do traffic and crowd control. We raised a couple $1,000s for charity, and the Bat Boys won 14-4. And we started our own league in 2004, and the team actually grew, I think, to close to 40 teams at one time, but we can check the records. I was elected the first commissioner, not because of any certain skill set, but we were in the living room and said, who wants to be commissioner? I said, I guess I will. And that was that. And finally, we did have a league of our own. People have called me the founder of Softball Austin, but that's really not accurate. The league was the vision of a small group of passionate, fearless friends who wanted a safe place for players and fans to connect over sports. The Austin Bat Boys were the foundation of that league. Nearly 40 Bat Boys went on to start, coach, manage, and play for other teams in our league. The Bat Boys competed in 7 World Series, and then Softball Austin hosted the World Series in a week that might have had some rain, but we won't talk about that. Many of my former teammates are here tonight. Mike and Dennis. Dennis is the Naga treasure. They're playing softball because of rain delays. It happens in other cities besides Austin. Terry Gates, Ram Rangel, my husband Darren. He's my tennis partner, and he was my co-softball player, and 22 years later, miraculously, we're still together. And friend and fellow Hall of Famer, Rich Siegel, who made tonight possible. Thank you to our Softball Austin Commissioner, Seth Rodriguez, and thank you, Houston, Dallas. Without the city of Houston and the city of Dallas, there would be no Softball Austin. You guys were instrumental in helping us launch our league, and we're forever grateful. And of course, Roy, he was our first NAGA commissioner, so he's still my commissioner. As I was reminded last night at the opening ceremony, while softball is what brings us all together, it's the friendships that last a lifetime, and I have friends from softball that will last a lifetime. I'm honored to be here. Congrats to the current Hall of Fame inductees, all the people that went before me. I do not feel deserving of this award based on all the stories that we've heard here tonight, but I am deeply honored and I'm forever grateful. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry for the
I'm extremely proud and honored to have nominated this next individual. Throughout his 2 decades of service to our organization, he has demonstrated repeatedly just how integral he is. As a founder of his league, he has introduced countless individuals to the sport he loves. Like most of us sitting in the room, he started as a player, coach, and manager, then league commissioner and NAGA delegate, then NAGA committee member, and then was appointed NAGA's first athletic director. A current member of our finance committee, he loves budgets, spreadsheets, well, really anything to do with money. But his true calling is all things tournament related. His commitment, passion, and dependability are what makes him a strong leader. Sometimes an untapped resource, I believe he's an asset in NAGA's future. A true volunteer, this individual is detailed to a fault, a fantastic problem solver and highly collaborative. As a friend, he is loyal and devoted, always giving 200%. He makes everyone around him want to do better. For that, I love him more than Swedish fish. I am truly honored to welcome my softball husband and friend, Shane Yogan, into the NAGA Hall of Fame class of 2022. Shane Bailey, it's your time to shine.
Jeez, thank you, CJ, so much for your friendship, your true friendship, and I love you very much. Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about what NAGA has done for me personally. It's brought me friends. It's brought me family. It's brought me so many things that I can't even imagine. I couldn't even begin to tell you. This year, 2022, 21 years ago was my first one in San Francisco. 8 rostered players on this team, so on that team in 2001. They're here tonight too. That's what it means to me, it's friendship, it's family. It also put me in the place that I needed to be. It put me in the place where I met the love of my life. It brought me a family that I didn't know I needed and that I didn't know that I could do without. So, thank you, NAGA. Thank you. That's what it's all about to me. And I hope that everyone gets to experience something similar to that in their life. I'm very excited to be a member now of the Hall of Fame. It's an honor that I can't even begin to express. And thank you so much for all that you've done for me.
Good evening, I'm Craig Marshall, Hall of Fame class of 2020, and I'm honored to introduce our next inductee, Mr. Jeff Stewart. Jeff Stewart is one of the most supportive straight allies I've ever met. He loves and has dedicated his time to supporting the LGBTQIA+ community. He began working various NAGA member city tournaments and World Series in '97. He was the adult UIC program for Slow Pitch in Palm Springs from '91 to 2009. Jeff has umpired in all but one NAGA World Series, a number of NAGA Cups. Jeff was the UIC for 1 World Series and an assistant for 7. I was part of his team with Tony Timmons for 6. We were coined ourselves as the Three Amigos. Sadly, Tony could not be here tonight because of surgery, but sends his love and is proud of his recognition. Jeff's a leader, a mentor. In fact, his efforts led to 2 of us NAGA umpire being on the Southern California USA staff. Okay, I'm over time. Jeff, you are more deserving of this honor tonight. I love you as a brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeff Stewart.
I saw the fall, I wasn't gonna do it. How did I get here? Well, it started with a phone call in the year 1997 from a lady named Terry Gordonier of San Diego. I had been umpiring in Palm Springs for a while, and she saw my name someplace and said, "Hey, want to come down and do the Gay World Series?" Sure. I'd never been to one before, so okay, why not? I get to travel. Go down there. I was late because my car broke down halfway there, and I was late to the umpire meeting, and I didn't get to get my stuff and my schedules until late that night. And I was going to go to Escondido on Tuesday morning for my first game. So I get there. I'm a plate umpire. Call out the 2 coaches for the pregame. They come out, and along with one of them comes a guy dressed in drag, full drag, high heels, nice looking hair, pretty dress, wasn't too bad looking. Anyway, I'm kind of, what is going on? I'm kind of looking, and Coach goes, "Blue, don't worry about it. She's our good luck charm."
Okay, no problem. Finished my spiel about the pregame and stuff, and did the coin toss. The two captains went to their benches. She stayed. Okay, now what? So she started running the bases. Ran first, second, third. Came home and did a flip and made it on home plate. Precisely on home plate. I guess she did this every game and whatever they wanted. So that was my first inauguration into the Gay World Series. Thank you very much for having me. So that was that, and then 10 years, fast forward 10 years, I'm in LA doing their gay league, Glossa, and I hear a voice from behind me on the fence, and it was this guy named Roy. So I said, what do you want? So I came up after the half inning and I said, hey, how would you like to UIC the World Series in Phoenix this year? This was 2007. And I said, well, I don't want to commit to you and not show up, because there were the rumors going around that I was going to get a national tournament the same month as the World Series, which was October. So I said, well, I don't want to really say yes. And he goes, well, how about you be the assistant UIC for Jerry Fontes? I go, sure. So Jerry and I did 3 work. That was the start of my UIC career with Naga, either like Craig said, being the assistant UIC or the UIC. And I've only missed 1 year, which was 98, because I don't know why I didn't go to Atlanta. And then of course we didn't have one in 2020. So I've been doing this since that long. And like Craig said, I was on staff, SoCal UIC staff for a number of years when I lived there. And then they kicked me off because I moved to Nevada. So I had to quit the staff in 2011, even though I was paying my own way and doing everything. So, I want to leave you with this. Actually, I want to thank a few people too, like Roy and his gang for putting on the Hall of Fame stuff and all that good stuff that he puts on. Craig for my great introduction. My wife, Connie, who's sitting back there with everybody. She always knew when I went into tournament mode. I ignored her. Anyway. So, I want to leave this for you, for all you players out there. Well, I don't care whether you're a player, you're a coach, whether you're an umpire, or you're a fan, or whatever. And you go out to these games in all these fields, all these cities, and then you want to go to maybe your watering hole in that local city, or the parking lot, whichever comes first. So I want to leave this with you. Don't forget, this is just a game. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you very much.
Good evening. It is my privilege to introduce the next inductee. As a founding member of the RCSA in 1995, she served many roles over 25 years before moving to Phoenix. She served as UIC for all 25 years, commissioner for 10. She played, she coached, she mentored, and for many of those years, did all of those things at the same time. She served NAGA as a delegate, umpired several GSWSs, and served as one of the UICs for the 2002 GSWS in Portland. Her dedication to the RCSA, NAGA, and gay softball is second to none. Please welcome my very dear friend and mentor as the next inductee into the 2022 NAGA Hall of Fame, Tony Carr.
I've umpired for over 40 years, and I still can't walk. And, but you know, I want to thank everybody. If it wasn't for Naga, I don't know where I'd be. I even met my other half in '95. We were together for 20 years. And she passed on at 15. So I miss her very, very much. But I don't know what I'd do without any of you guys. And Portland is my home, even though I moved to Arizona. But they accepted me as umpiring there too, and it's been great. I started playing when I was 14, and I played with my mom way back then, and I ended up catching for 16 years. And then I decided I'll play more, and then we were in the Gay Pride March, and they came up and asked me, hey, you want to help us start a new league? I said, sure, that'd be cool. And then we've done it ever since. And it's just so much in my heart. I just can't tell you how much I love y'all. And she's been great with me, you know, and I'm just getting old, but I still push, you know. But I just want to thank everybody else. I don't even know what else to say.
Good evening, Naga. We're here to introduce George Kessinger into your Hall of Fame. My name is Tim Martin. I'm the former chairman of SFAA. I have with me today Ed Bailey. Ed had the first hit, scored the first run in SFAA history. That was in 1995. To my right, I have George Foley. George Foley is the only player to have played in every season of SFAA history. We're here to talk about George. George is literally on top of our nameplate for our SFA Hall of Famers. George is, with 2 other people, started this league, but primarily, he was also our main sponsor. There wasn't a day or a week or a year that went by if a player needed a jersey, balls, bats, a plane ticket to a tournament, even a player who needed hearing aids. George was there to be that person to get that player across the finish line. So we're here together as the Angels in our 25th anniversary season, and also with Code Blue, our sister team, to congratulate George and welcome him into the Naga Hall of Fame. Well deserved, George.
Wow. I'm looking out over people I have not met or seen in a long time. I've always thought as softball in South Florida, Little Manors and Fort Lauderdale, that it was a big part of tightening up the community more than ever. And it was definitely the softball league that was a big part of that. I have a whole list of people. They told me I could only talk for 2 minutes, so I threw mine away. It was 32 minutes. So that's how many people were really involved in this. I feel quite honored that I get to be the one to stand up here to accept this award, this nomination into the Hall of Fame with all these great people. I've listened to all the stories. I have as many stories as I did make friends with everybody. I appreciate everything. I'm very lucky about the family. I can tell you one thing, that when we first started the league, my father was always there. and my mother. My father just turned 98 years old. And I'm lucky because I also tonight, not only my friends, but I was able to bring family members. My brother, his wife, Jim Kessinger, my husband, Paris Kessinger here. So to be around family, to accept this is even more, means a lot to me that they were actually here to join me. I wish I could go down the list of people, but again, the softball definitely pulled the community, and I understand the stories from everybody else that told about how they felt they were family, and it definitely is, and especially this coming here and seeing some of the people I have not seen in 10 years, or even longer. It was just a phenomenal feeling. And I thank everybody that got me up here and was able to, I don't know, just let me come up here and be nominated for this. And I hope that I can share this with everybody in South Florida. Thank you.
On behalf of myself, Paul Moore, and Scott Schweitzer, it was an honor nominating this next individual. His record of service and commitment both locally and internationally is unwavering. In 15 short years, he has risen in the ranks of the organization from a player in his local league to open commissioner and NAGA delegate, to NAGA committee member, to a fellow member of the NAGA board of directors. He's a stickler for the rules and an advocate for fair play, and has a reputation of being direct. If you don't want the truth, he's the wrong person to ask. He embodies strong characteristics as a leader, including integrity, passion, and dedication, all of which make him worthy to join the ranks of those admired NAGA individuals that came before him. He is dedicated to preserving our past and ensuring our future. As one of the youngest members to be inducted, I personally can't wait to see what's next for him. With enthusiasm and pride, it is my privilege to now welcome fellow NAGA colleague and my friend Jeff Sloan into the NAGA Hall of Fame class.
Thank you, Ted, for reminding me to get up those stairs. It was a little nerve-wracking. I was like, when you did that, like my life flashed before my eyes. I was like, that's gonna be me. Thank you eternally for this honor. Roy, the Hall of Fame members, my tables, all four of them, they're very rowdy. I've got a lot of family and friends here, and I really appreciate them showing their support in this way. CJ, thank you for being a mentor and a leader for me, for giving me opportunities when I wasn't sure there were any available, and you found them, and you saw something in me that I didn't know I had in me. So thank you so much for that. Paul Moore, thank you for your friendship over the years and all the things that we worked on together. It makes me really happy that you're a part of this. Sheila and the BCFM group and everybody else out there. I can't name you all, but it's great to have you here. The one thing that I was taking away when I kept thinking about what I was going to say was that the biggest gift that this organization gave me was that there are several things wrong with me. There's a few people out there in the audience that would probably give you a list of what those things are. But this organization taught me that being gay isn't one of them. Okay? When we can
put people in an environment where we strip away the discrimination, the bullying, the negativity, the homophobia, the transphobia, other things that are out there, people can soar and achieve at levels that they never thought that they could before. This organization has helped me become a better person, to be a better leader, to have more opportunities in my professional and personal life, because like people have said tonight, the relationships that we build here transcend just the game. They go to your personal life, and you take the lessons you learn here and you go and apply them in the rest of your life. So I'm extremely grateful for that, that lesson that this organization has taught me. This organization changes lives. I would not be here today. I really strongly believe that. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have this organization in my life. And I always feel like there's a debt to repay, and I'll never be able to fully repay that debt, but I can try through service. And that is what a lot of us have done here over the years, and that's what I plan on continuing to do. In 2010, it's my second year playing, I was all of 25 years old, coaching a team that had most of the team that was younger than me or around my same age. We had 10 players come to the World Series. We had the minimum, we had no subs. We didn't have any money. We were young, we were in service industry jobs, or we didn't have vacation time. We got in a Honda Civic with 4 of us in there, and left on Monday, missed the opening ceremonies, left Monday in Kansas City at 6 p.m. and got to Columbus, Ohio at 6 a.m. as the sun was coming up to the Hyatt Regency. Took that little disco nap and got out on the field, and I didn't know what we were gonna do. I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be a mess. We only have 10 players, these teams are stacked. I mean, we're looking at the other team, they got 16 players, these fancy jerseys and all this crap. And I said, we are in over our heads here. We're about to get run rolled out of the building here. So, but we got on the field and we won 18-3. And stayed out of a protest. But when I got to Lou Berliner Park and I saw what that was, I told myself that I'm gonna come back to every single one of these for the rest of my life. I made that call right then and there. And I've been to every one since then, 12 World Series later. So I'm happy that I kept that promise to myself, because it's made a huge difference in my life. It has been the privilege of my life to serve this organization in the way that I have, and to have met the people that I've had, and to have the relationships that I've had. Receiving this really only reignites my fire to continue to serve this organization, and I plan on doing that into the future. Thank you very much.
Hall of Fame class of 2000. I am here to introduce you to someone that is truly worthy of being inducted into the NIGA Hall of Fame, Blessed Tiffany. I would like to thank my fellow Hall of Famers Eddie Visconti and Bob Bachman for their assistance in this nomination, as well as our fellow Hall of Famers who voted for Leslie. Leslie has been a coach, a manager, a fundraiser, a committee member, and an officer of the Beantown Softball League, and is truly deserving to be in the Hall of Fame. Without further ado, please welcome the next class of 22 Hall of Fame inductee, Blessed Tiffany.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out to the Hall of Fame dinner. Dallas, thank you for hosting this year's World Series. It's truly a tremendous undertaking, and you guys are doing a great job. Friendly as hell, and we thank you. Also, I want to thank Roy Mullaney and the Hall of Fame Committee for their hard work in putting this event together. Trying to distill the highlights of my 42-year affiliation with the Beantown Softball League and NAGA into a 2-minute speech is quite a daunting task, but I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. Let me first thank Gary Staples for nominating me to the NAGA Hall of Fame. I first met Gary when he welcomed my predominantly female team into the BSL in 1980. Over the years, Gary's been a true friend, fellow coach, mentor, and like a brother to me. We have shared the same passion about softball, the BSL, and NAGA for decades. Thank you, Gary. I also want to thank all of you influencers out there, and you know who you are. Buck Bachman, Eddie Visconti, Gary Brenner, Jimmy McNulty, Warren Mitchell, and anyone else who worked behind the scenes in order to get me reinstated. Thank you. I've also been deeply touched and appreciative of the support that I have felt from so many of the past and present members of the BSL, including our current commissioner, Kevin. And of course, thank you NAGA Hall of Fame members for giving me this great honor here tonight. Rather than going into great detail about my reinstatement, let me just say it's nice to be back. Looking back on so many special moments, I think of how deeply meaningful it's been to represent Boston throughout the years, whether at the Gay Games, Mayor's Cup tournaments, NAGA tournaments, and of course the NAGA World Series. It's all been so incredibly amazing, fun, and life-affirming. As many people talk tonight about NAGA being a family, I couldn't echo that more. I mean, everybody comes here to win, but really what's the most important, it's like our gay family reunion every summer. It's awesome. And I also want to acknowledge many of the players from Boston and around the country who I've had the honor to coach over these years. There are two cities in particular that I'd like to thank for their incredible hospitality and graciousness toward my teams, both co-ed and female teams over the years. This would be Milwaukee and Toronto. Besides throwing great tournaments, you always made a point to show your appreciation for the camaraderie we had between the men and women on our Boston co-ed teams. They understood the importance of this union at a time when it was not commonplace. And I'm happy to see lots of co-ed teams here at the series this year. Although he's not here tonight, I also would just like to give a shout out to Bill Muldoon from Minneapolis, who as Commissioner of NAGA, fast-tracked the creation of a women's division from an idea in 1984 to a reality in 1985, when Milwaukee hosted the first Women's World Series. And for that, I also want to recognize the efforts of Ron Burby, Tommy Southsider, and my dear friend Susie Arnold, who was Commissioner of the Women's Division of NAGA and co-chair of the Gay Games in Chicago in 2006. NAGA has had to work hard over the years to gain the respect within their cities from politicians, parks and rec departments, sponsors, etc. This took a lot of dedication and hard work. I will refrain from entering into the realm of politics, but just want to remind us all that what was fought hard to attain must not be surrendered. We are living in a turbulent period of attempted social repression, and we must stand our ground and not let anyone push us backward. Take this seriously, be it reversing Roe v. Wade, gay marriage, banning books and drag queens, negating freedom of choice, or trying to dismiss various forms of gender identity. We must keep the gains we fought hard to achieve. Pay attention to what your local politicians and candidates support and vote your conscience. Once again, thank you, Dallas, and thank you, Hall of Fame members.
Hello, my name is John J.J. Defeat, and my pronouns are he and his. I'd like to take a moment to share a little bit about the person we're about to meet. It all started in 2007 when he joined the Cactus City softball league, and since then, he has competed in every GSWS. He has also coached multiple teams, served as both assistant commissioner and commissioner of the Cactus City softball league, served as the Phoenix delegate for 5 years, served as assistant athletic director for 3 years, and now serves as the Naga athletics chair. He is passionate, dedicated, and known for his master scheduling skills. He is truly an amazing ambassador for both the LGBTQ community and for Naga. Aaron, I'm so proud of you, and I want to say congratulations. It is my honor to welcome you to the Naga Hall of Fame. Please give a huge round of applause to our dear friend, Aaron.
When I look out, all I see is friends and family. Yeah. It's so funny. Usually I'm not at a lack for words, but tonight I kept promising people I wouldn't cry. It's truly overwhelming. There was 2 stories that really stuck out to me when I thought about what I would say up here, and really kind of wrapping my head around this whole experience. I was honored and privileged to be the person to nominate and introduce John Defeat during his Hall of Fame experience. And so now it's truly for me come full circle. Part of that experience, which a lot of people don't know, is I made sure to invite my partner Darren to that dinner in Washington, D.C. And I told him, I said, I want you to attend. I want you to see why I do what I do. I want you to see why it's important to me. During that night, we got to give a speech about, blazing the trail and really making it okay to be gay, making it okay to be out, even if your family doesn't support you. Making sure that others have access and can experience what we experience. And I think now for me, it's really become full circle. And that's one of the many reasons that I work hard and do what I do, because we all believe in making tomorrow better than today. Giving people the opportunities that maybe we didn't have or what we struggled with. And this just kind of exemplifies that, we're on the right track. We're doing what we do, and we will continue to fight. So thank you all for giving me more than I've ever given you. That's the true message. The second story is I coach a recreational team in Phoenix, the Misfits. They're very well known for being a fun-loving, beer-drinking team that has an absolute blast. And most people, when we come off the field, they said, "Oh, how did you do?" And I usually say, "You know what? We win at life." I truly feel like I've won at life. So thank you.
of 2008.
Hi, I'm Gary Castro, Naga Hall of Fame, class of 2010. We've been asked to introduce to you, Mark, what are you doing?
I don't know, looking for some additional things to talk about, maybe the charities that he supports.
He has done a lot of things for us on the national level, but so much on the local level as well. Plus, bringing so much awareness to LGBT plus athletes has been incredible.
But here's another hot topic. How about age difference?
That's a good one.
Well, he did marry somebody much younger.
Yes, he did. But in all seriousness, you guys have seen his bio, you guys have read his letter of recommendation, hell, you guys have voted him in. So let's get the guy up here to talk about himself. So Naga, let's introduce to you our newest Hall of Fame inductee, class of 2022, our friend, Eric Braver.
By the way, I will get you guys for that. First of all, I want to start by thanking you for making me last tonight, because I was able, while sitting at my table, to watch the Dodgers beat the Mets 4-3. So that's a score update. Dodgers just won. Honestly, I just want to start by thanking all the Naga Hall of Fame members and everyone who's here tonight for nominating me, Gary and Mark. Thanks for having some fun. I'm honored to be here to join just a remarkable list of athletes and friends and people that we all consider family now. You know, my journey started in the early 2000s, I think actually 2001, when I had no idea there was such thing as gay softball. I was introduced to softball by a guy by the name of Roger Grant in Los Angeles. And Roger asked me, he saw me wearing a Dodgers shirt at the gym. And he asked me if I played softball. And I had never played softball before in my life, never picked up a softball. He then very cleverly placed me on, and then he had to ask me if I was gay. We met at the steam room at 24 Hour Fitness, so it wasn't too hard to figure out. He asked me if I would come to a tryout. Now, mind you, for those of you who don't know, I played high school and college baseball at the University of Houston, by the way. And I came to the tryout, and he came over to me and he said, nice job hitting, you're gonna be on my team. I need you to bat left-handed. He had a C division team, and I had no idea that there were divisions in softball. But what I didn't tell Roger was that I was a switch hitter. So, at one of the very first games, Mark Springer and Gary Castro are wearing their Stray Cats uniforms, sitting and watching me play a game. And they called me over, and they asked me if I knew what I was doing. And Mark was the commissioner of GLASA, and Gary said, no ma'am, you are not playing C-ball. I then joined the Stray Cats and the Vipers, founded the Vipers after the Stray Cats retired, after the 10th championship. And my journey, you know, we won many championships for, you know, the period of time that I played. But it isn't the victories. That's not what, the championships and all that, that's not what I'm gonna take away from this. It's this. It's the memories that I've made with my friends, and I'm proud to have at my table people that I consider family. I've got Michael Abraham, a longtime sponsor who worked for Qantas Airlines at the time. I've got Tommy and Ryan, who are two of my best friends in the world, all met through softball. Gabe Barajas, 20 years ago this year. We met playing softball. He's now playing with Palm Springs. We're next door neighbors and best friends. Mark and Gary, obviously. I don't know what more to say about you guys. And then the significantly younger husband, who I was fortunate to be able to marry on the pitcher's mound at Dodger Stadium earlier this year. If you just Google us, it's all over the place. Jonathan Petro is sitting at the high chair at our table. He is waiting for applesauce. The truth is, Jonathan and I met 3 years ago in Puerto Vallarta, and my days of playing, at that point I was coaching, and I've been working for the Dodgers for many years, and if you don't know, I've been doing everything I can with Billy Beane and Major League Baseball to really get, spread the word about inclusion, diversity, equality for all. I didn't have, along the way, had ownership group and a lot of people challenging me saying, are you sure? Do you have any idea what you're doing? And I'll share a little secret with you guys. We did a kiss cam at Dodger Stadium several years ago that went viral. Millions of people viewed it. It was a plant. It was two of my friends. There was a reason that people were videotaping. It was to really help us spread the word that we all fit. It doesn't matter what division you play in, it doesn't matter where you live, we all share this one thing in common. And so I'm honored to be here. I thank you all, and I hope you all have a great night. Thanks.
Thank you for all coming. But before we leave, first of all, we're going to have our annual All Hall of Fame member shirts, photos back in the corner there where the step and repeat is. We're going to do that. But I want you to take away one thing. We need to be nice to everybody. Our world is topsy-turvy, but you can get a long way if you be nice. So, fight, but be nice. And thank you for coming.